What's up guys? My name is Zach, and for the last 7 days, I've been driving the 2024 Lexus GX550. Up front is a 3.4 liter twin turbo V6, and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, I'm super excited to be making this video because I have spent a week loving this GX550. It is all new for the 2024 model year, and we've driven the Land Cruiser, actually two Land Cruisers, here on the channel previously, and this is kind of the luxury version of the Land Cruiser, and so we're going to dive into that as well and talk about why I like this car so much. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackcradle.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that twin-turbo V6 under the hood. Well, if you're familiar with the Toyota Tundra, you might recognize that engine. This is Toyota and Lexus's fix for the lack of V8 in their lineup. It makes very good power that I'll put up on the screen, and that has been one of the best parts of the GX550. The Land Cruiser is only available with a 4-cylinder, but this comes with the 6 twin turbo, and it is fantastic. I have loved driving this car so much. Like I said, paired to it is a 10-speed automatic, nothing too crazy or new there. It works well, and I'm happy with it. And last but not least, the GX550 Premium Plus is 4-wheel drive, and we have a center locking diff as well as a high and low range gearbox, which we'll talk about how to select a little bit later on. How does it feel to drive the GX550? Well, it is decently big and that power is wonderful, but it feels like it has softer suspension than the Land Cruiser. Now, this does get adaptive suspension where the Land Cruiser doesn't, but when you really get on the gas or really get on the brakes, the car will sort of lean forward or back. It almost adds a sort of comical bucking, which is kind of fun. It definitely makes the car feel more alive, however, definitely less stable than the Land Cruiser, at least in feel. Visibility is decent. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's not terrible, and you have a lot of sensors and cameras to help you out there. Steering isn't heavy or too light. It's very nice, and throttle response is good. So overall, I've really enjoyed my time piloting the GX550 Premium Plus. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital gauge cluster. I really like this gauge cluster. It's semi-easy to read, but there is a lot of information being thrown at you, but you do get used to it. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have the selectors for that gauge cluster screen, as well as our go back, volume, and voice commands. And off to the right, we have our adaptive cruise control, as well as skip track and paddle shifters around the back of the steering wheel. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, our odometer and trip / gauge dimmer switches, memory seat options, rear backup alert, power tailgate, and our AC 120 volt outlet. And moving onto the door, we have our power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do get a very large infotainment display. Now, I have a very love-hate relationship with this. I love that it's touchscreen. It's very clear. It has great refresh rate and looks fantastic. Wireless Apple CarPlay is also included, and it is, of course, paired to a Mark Levinson sound system that will shake the car. However, something I don't like is that the climate controls are exclusively ran through the screen. Everything is touch, and the heated / cooled seats are defaulting to auto, which will follow the climate controls, which is nice, but when you want to change it, you have to click through multiple things. I just don't like touchscreen climate controls at all, and Lexus is moving in that direction, which I don't enjoy. Down below that, we do have a hazard switch and 2 climate vents, and then we have some interesting buttons. So off to the left, we have our mode select. So we have sport, normal, and eco, and you do get actually some really cool graphics when you do cycle through those, which I like in the gauge cluster, as well as we have our ECT second, traction control, and tow haul mode. And then off to the right, we have 2 USB-Cs, as well as a sort of hidden 12-volt outlet. Really enjoy that. And back off to the left, we have the shifter, power parking brake, and brake hold, and then our 4-wheel drive settings. Like I said, we do have 4 high and 4 low, as well as a center locking differential. Off to the right, we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the GX550 Premium Plus. However, as we tested at the Chicago Auto Show earlier this year, it unfortunately fails the big friggin' bottle test. Then we do have a wireless charger, which will charge my phone. Toyota wireless chargers will only charge phones that have MagSafe cases on them. I don't have a MagSafe case, and the Lexus will charge it fine, but the Toyota Camry I just had didn't. Big center console, which I wish had the cool box from the Land Cruiser, but we don't get that here in the GX550 Premium Plus. And then the seats. The seats are heated, ventilated, power, and memory, and I enjoy them quite a bit. However, something that sets the GX550 apart from the Land Cruiser is that this does have an optional third row, so let's go talk about some back seats. All right, so we're in the second row of the GX550 Premium Plus, and the first thing you notice is how hard these seats are. Now, this was my complaint with the Toyota Land Cruiser as well, so nothing new for the GX, something to note. Down below, I do have my own climate controls. I have my own heated seats back here, as well as 2 USB-C ports, and I do get a fold-down center console with 2 cup holders. However, as I mentioned, the GX550 is just a touch ahead of the Land Cruiser because it does offer a third row. So let's hop back there, or figure out how to hop back there and do a third row review. All right, so interesting. Okay, it's yelling at me. I think I gotta come around the back. Okay, that's why. So I have to remove the privacy cover. Okay, then I can, nope. Why is it yelling at me? Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got that down. Then I think, there we go. Now we can raise the third row at least. Okay, which, by the way, this privacy cover is just gonna have to sit there. No, that's gonna, then I can't close. Put this down for now. We'll talk about the trunk. All right, back over here. The headrest is hitting the seat. Oh, now it folds up. And now I can get in the back. We're in the third row. And in all honesty, it's not actually the worst third row I've ever been in. I could actually manage back here. It's just a flippin' process to get it all up and about. Okay, this is as far back as my seat goes, but I do have power seat operations over off to the right. We also have a USB-C port on either side. Very nice, but that seems to be it. If you need them, it has them. I wouldn't recommend using them. Please. Nope. Okay. Time to get out, and we'll talk about the trunk. Okay, around the back of the GX550, we do have a button here that allows us to open up just the rear glass, which I absolutely love when vehicles offer that. Really, really cool to see that. But then we do have a power tailgate button underneath, and it operates like that. Once we are back here, obviously not a whole ton of space when this seat is up. However, we can fold them with the power mechanisms. Okay, it does appear as though you do have to hold it. There you go. A little bit of a lengthy process, but what can you do? There we go. So now you have the flat loading floor. You can lift this up as well. You have some tiny little storage. You also get a wall outlet back here. Fantastic to see. The power operations were right there. And as you saw me take out earlier, there's a privacy cover that goes across there that you could pull all the way out. So tons of great space. I would highly recommend not utilizing the third row because it's not great. But if you do need it, say, hey, you got a nephew in town, you have 2 kids of your own, bada bing, bada boom, you have a vehicle that can carry everyone. Button right up here for the power tailgate to go right back down. Now we gotta talk about the looks. And First of all, I want to apologize. The car is decently dirty. I drove this directly from the car wash to here today. They are doing heavy construction in my area, and so getting it dirty again is just unavoidable. But I do absolutely love this color. It looks like when you use a blue ballpoint pen and you draw something and then you fill it in, and it almost looks like a really deep purple. That's what this color looks like, and I love the overall look and design of the refreshed, redesigned GX550. I think it's a very handsome SUV, and I have been proud to have it in my driveway this entire week. With all of that being said, though, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Lexus GX550 Premium Plus for the last 7 days? Well, this has been fantastic. And to be fair, I did have a very, very good experience in this. I picked this car up from the airport. I was returning from a work trip. I had been in the hospital that morning in North Carolina, was on enough medication to get me onto a plane. I couldn't eat all day. They made me check my bag, even though it was a tiny carry-on. They ran out of overhead space. The flight was delayed. I landed, and I was just over the whole day. I just wanted to be home. And then I see this Lexus GX550 that was left to me by Lexus. And I threw my luggage in the back, and I drove away, and I smiled. I laughed. I was happy for the first part of the entire day. This car brought a lot of joy. It was quick. The sound system was amazing. I had the wind in my hair, and I could see my own house and bed for the first time in over a week. So I have a very good kinship with this vehicle. But I do think that it also does a lot of stuff better than the Land Cruiser. I think it's more comfortable. It definitely has more power. It has a better sound system. It offers a third row if you want it. And you do get that Lexus badge, which, like it or not, holds weight with certain people. The reason I'm able to draw this comparison so strongly is the fact that when you look at this at $71,000, it's not far off from a Land Cruiser. Here are the two Land Cruisers that I reviewed. This was a 1958 trim level, which is essentially the base, and then a mid-trim level at the just Land Cruiser trim. Look at those prices. I personally would spend a little bit of extra coin and get something like this. This is a much better vehicle. And I'm not saying the Land Cruiser is bad. I wish I could have this with the interior from the Land Cruiser trim and the headlights from the 1958 trim. I think then that would be the ultimate automobile. But of course, I can't have everything my way, and that's just a pipe dream for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Lexus for loaning me this vehicle for the last 7 days, and of course, Drive Shop for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of this vehicle, and of course, the Midwestern Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.